the agreement that was established will be respected. I'm totally convinced that the Israeli forces will leave Lebanon as foreseen, and that the Lebanese armed forces, with the support of UNIFIL, will assume full control of the area south of the Litani River. And I do not see any reason for this not to happen. And the best guarantee is that I'm entirely convinced that the whole of the international community would not forgive any violation of these agreements. Everybody wants peace in Lebanon, and nobody would accept the war to start today in Lebanon.
Carmen, Al Jazeera.
Carmen Jukhadar, Al Jazeera. So I have two questions. The first one, did you ever receive any information or have you been informed from the Israelis that the ceasefire will happen on the 26th at 4 a.m. They will withdraw fully from the south of Lebanon? Did they inform you officially about that? The second question is related to the UNRWA. You know, after the Israeli legislations and decisions related to this organization, what will be the fate of this organization and how it will impact all the Palestinians benefiting from this, the services of this organization? Thank you.
First of all, I have not received directly any information about Israel, but Israel has signed agreements, and that agreements are clear commitments that must be respected. Second, UNRWA will, in all circumstances, continue to operate in Lebanon, in Jordan, and in Syria. And it is not yet entirely clear what is the interpretation of the legislation that was adopted. For the moment, UNRWA is still operating in Gaza and in the West Bank, and we do not intend to stop our operations unless they are stopped by Israel.
Ahmed.
أحمد سنجاب قناة القاهرة الإخبارية. السؤال الأول متعلق
The first question is related to the strength of the United Nations in Lebanon. Are the UN personnel are going to be increased during the upcoming period to maintain stability and security during the ceasefire? This is the first part. The second part is related to the Gaza Strip. If there is a certain mechanism for the United Nations to enter the humanitarian aid once the ceasefire is implemented, is there a special mechanism for coordination in this regard?
Two questions. The first one is related to UNIFIL. Will there be any increase in the troops number in order to safeguard the security and safety of Lebanon and ensure that the ceasefire is respected?
There is no intention to increase the number of troops. There is yes an intention to increase the capabilities of the force. The problem is not the number of soldiers, the problem is the kind of equipment that is essential from the point of view of the monitoring that UNIFIL must do. So what is planned is an increase of capabilities and also an adaptation of the action of UNIFIL to make it even more effective in the exercise of its mandate.
The second question is about Gaza Strip. Is there any mechanism to ensure that the humanitarian assistance will be delivered once the ceasefire is agreed upon?
You mean?
Will there be any mechanism to ensure that the humanitarian aid will be allowed into Gaza?
Into Gaza?
Yeah, Gaza.
The agreement is clear. There won't be any impediments by Israel for humanitarian aid to enter in Gaza. That doesn't mean that it is easy, the distribution of humanitarian aid in Gaza. We have gangs looting systematically the convoys. We have other obstacles that have to do with the total degradation of Gaza and its infrastructure. We have a limited number of trucks at the present moment in Gaza, so a lot of actions are necessary in order to make the distribution fully effective, distribution by the UN, distribution by its partners, distribution by the private sector, and distribution by other initiatives. It is clear that there is an obligation by Israel of not creating any obstacles. It is clear that the situation in Gaza is still extremely complex and a lot of difficulties still remain for an effective distribution.